Short video on showing how to use scope to identify misfiring using lap scope to identify misfiring on ignition coils. With the scope now, I've connected it to cylinder 1 ignition coil. So now we read from the scope and you see the profile. So I'll go to the second ignition cord and we'll go and check the scope, the reading that the ignition cord. There is cylinder 2 and the engine is vibrating. If you can see my hand, the engine is vibrating, so we check which of them also is causing the vibration. And when you get to the scope, you see it's giving us a negative value and we are not getting any wave like from cylinder 1. So we go to the next cylinder, that's cylinder 3. So here I take it to the cylinder 3, and with cylinder 3 it gives us a waveform which shows that it is working. The ignition coil is working. So we go to let me do it this way because of my ground cable. So let me take the ground from the engine block so that I protect my wire form. So now you come, you see it changes whenever it fires. So now we go back to ignition coil 4. And it is connected to ignition coil 4. Now we come to our scope and we see this one too is also working. So you see the waveform that is drawing, but it's horrible. So now we go to ignition coil 2 again and see if we can get a waveform, and you see the waveform that you are getting. So it helps to identify misfiring in ignition coil very quick. And this one is the cam profile which I connected to. So I connected it to the cam profile. So this is the cam profile, the setup that I did. So I connected it to the cam profile. The cam sharp sensor or the cam position sensor. So now I'll change the ignition coil and it's still 0, it's not moving. It shows that that cylinder is not firing. But when I get to the 1, when I place it to the 1 and we check the waveform, you will know it is firing. I just got the scope and I was trying it and I found, let me fix this issue with it. So when you come to the waveform, you see now it has done a waveform which shows that it's always firing. So it changes when it's time for it to fire. Thank you for watching. After using the scope to detect the misfire and that the ignition coil 2 is not working, now I trace to the ignition coil and take it out. Let me off the engine. Now I want to know if it is from the cable or you see. That means even if I've not tried it, there is it, and it's misfiring. That means it's strong, so it's from the cable. That means the cable is what's not getting power. So now I'll change the cable and get back to you. So now I wanted to test if it is from the cable or it is from the, and now the cable is working. So I'll change the spark plug. We watched the engine, so water entered into that cylinder, into the cylinder. Water entered into cylinder 2. So that's why it is not firing. So I'll take off, because now I can see the ignition is working. So I'll take off the plugs and take out the water and try it again.